I can't take my job anymore. I'm doing an internship and I love this company. Everyone is so cool, but the problem is that the guy responsible for teaching me is nasty. And it's sad cause he's such a great guy, had the most beautiful smile. But he likes to put his hand on this ass and smell it all day, multiple times. Like an addiction. He doesn't wash his hands and he touches my stuffs and all of my stuffs are starting to smell like his ass. Today I opened my book, we use it for work every single day. This wave of ass smell came to my face. I almost threw up, I'm not even exaggerating. I have a very sensitive nose already, and this is intense for me. I can't say anything cause I'm new here, I'm an intern and I have a resting bitch face. I don't want him to hate me for pointing it out. He's really cute and such a joy, but it's just nasty. I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna suffer in silence. And another coworker of mine also put his hands on his ass, but he doesn't smell it, he just doesn't wash his hands and touches other people. Extremely nasty. I'd for leaving my dad's house after he invited his new girlfriend. So it's very important to note that my 30M mom, 51F, died 3 months ago. My dad told us last week that he's met someone new and wanted to invite her to Thanksgiving. This is the first family holiday where we could all get together and I was hoping we could honor and grieve my mom as a family, and I can't do that if he brings this new woman. My sister and I put our foot down about her not coming to Thanksgiving, and he kind of honored our wishes. He did ask my two sisters, 29F and 21F, multiple times on Thanksgiving during the day if she could come to dinner, which really irked me, but they held strong against that idea. Instead, he invited her today to meet us all. We were supposed to continue the tradition of putting up Christmas decorations the day after Thanksgiving because that's what Mom always loved to do. Since she was coming to meet us, my dad said we could put up the decorations next week, which pissed me off since he was so adamant about keeping our traditions. Well, I was planning on leaving before she got there because I really didn't want to meet this new woman 3 months after my mom passed. She was supposed to arrive at 11 and I was packing to leave before then, but she showed up at 9 instead. I was pleasant and nice, but I could only stay an hour before I felt my temper rising. It's clear she wants to replace Mom. My 29F sister is pregnant and this woman wants to be a part of the process because every grandchild needs a grandmother. My sister doesn't want any part of that, but she's better at hiding her feelings in the moment than I am, so I felt it best to leave. Now my dad and youngest sister are texting me saying my leaving so early was rude. I'm still incredibly mad at the entire situation and don't know if I'm thinking clearly about it.
Our rental's heat has been out for over 24 hours, in below freezing weather, with a child in the home. No means to contact property management. So, we live in eastern Washington state in a rental house. Around 36 hours ago our vents started blowing cool air. We tried messing with the thermostat. My husband watched YouTube repair tutorials and tried to get it working. But no use, it's likely a broken gas valve and needs a professional. So we shut it off. My husband sent a work order email to fix the furnace to the property management company 24 hours ago. So far, the only response we have received is an automated email that the order was received, but they are out of the office, with no return to office date. So my husband called their emergency line, which is an automated voice telling you to press 0 to speak to a person or dial the first 3 letters of our manager's last name. Pressing 0 only takes you right back to the menu telling you to hit 0 or enter the name, which we don't know. This is our 5th rental agency we've been managed by in 7 years. I think we've only met him once. But my husband found an old copy of the lease and found out his name. He dialed that and it sent him to an answering machine that we are assuming is just his office phones. We have a 10-year-old kid. We have 4 cats and a dog. We've been under electric blankets all day, thanks to my mother's kind donation. But this is not humane. It's 27 degrees Fahrenheit at 8:30 p.m. and getting colder. This house was built in 1910 and is very drafty. My question is this legal? What am I supposed to do if I have no means of communication with my property management company in an obvious emergency maintenance situation? Why am I paying $1,500 a month to be left helpless when the heat goes out?
How long can an employee be on a gradual return to work? I have an employee who went off work about a year and a half ago. They then returned to work part-time for a month, went back off entirely for 3 months, returned part-time, increased days, decreased days, went off suddenly for 2 months, increased days further, increased once more, reduced days, off work for a week, returned part-time, increased days, and has now reduced days again. They've been back to work consistently since May of this year, with the exception of a random week off, but only at fluctuating part-time days. There is no end in sight to this. How long can a business feasibly be expected to do this? For reference, it's a childcare center, so we need consistent educators and full-time people. They are still considered a full-time educator despite not working full-time since May 2022. Typically, I know 2 years is when you can start looking at frustration of contract, but they've technically been active at work, just not fulfilling their full-time role, so I'm at a loss. Curious if anyone has seen a similar scenario before. CA, literal adherence to Workday ATS instructions, an AI/screening bot rest per applicant. CA, tag to follow sub-rules, but question applies globally, I think. I'm searching for jobs for the first time in 10 years and Workday seems to be the ATS of choice now. When manually entering or making adjustments to job history, Workday has a checkbox to indicate I currently work here. If the box is checked, Workday doesn't offer a space to indicate an end date to the position. What about situations where an applicant like me has held a series of escalating or lateral positions at the same employer? If that applicant follows instructions literally, they will have an application full of jobs with no end date on them, because the applicant does currently work, T here. Alternatively, if the checkbox is checked and dates entered, it appears that the applicant has worked for more employers than they really have, potentially many more so. In the days when humans were doing initial screening with a simple keyword search, I know a human would see the employer name as the same throughout and would recognize the escalating nature of the titles and positions. They might even realize the applicant is someone whose employer saw fit to not only retain but also promote, the opposite of someone who perhaps has trouble holding down a job. What about the AI/other automated screening tools that may be integrated with Workday or other interfacing tools you talent acquisition folks use? Will the AI identify the candidate as a job hopper and automatically reject them for short tenure if there are end dates associated with those positions? Will it freak out if there aren't